Hello, dear friends. Conflict is a constant in the world because it doesn't allow for change to be made by hook or by crook. Opinion piece. Storm signals. Economic storm. Power struggle in China. Turmoil in several countries. Unexpected solar storm. The world is in turmoil. October is shaping up to be a critical month. A historic event is expected this autumn. Banks must choose inflation or recession. Pressure drop on Nord Stream 1 pipeline. Russia activates 300,000 reservists. Spain has 3,000. Big collapse will be used to bring in new systems. Let's start. A global transformation is coming as the people of the planet wake up, writes Benjamin Fulford. There are signs in several countries that some kind of global upheaval is taking place. These include a power struggle in China, unrest in Iran, military mobilization by Russia, a declaration of war in Texas, unrest in the UK, and much more. All of this points to some kind of world historic black swan event, possibly in October. Major bankers who failed to comply with the dollar transition, the new gold standard and the new transfer facilities have been arrested with their assets seized. Many of the top CEOs and vice-presidents are indicted. It is being exposed at the Davos Forum in the Netherlands and Canada. Their leaders match the policy of tougher rules. Credit goes to the Netherlands for its frontline objection and its resistance to land confiscation. China. Let's start with the developments in China. Jennifer Feng's report shows a video of an 80-kilometer military convoy moving to encircle Beijing. She notes that there was a major meeting of Chinese military commanders that didn't include Xi Jinping, the nominal head of Chinese military. Strangely, the two military-linked Politburo members at the meeting did not mention Xi in their speeches. In addition, a senior general from the north who had reportedly been dismissed by Xi was sitting in front row seat at the meeting. Moreover, Xi apparently quickly left the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit meeting in Uzbekistan and rushed back to China, but has not been seen in public since. There is a real power gap in China between the military intelligence group around Jiang Zemin and the group around Xi Jinping. There is no doubt that there is a big power struggle going on between two groups. The one around Xi wants to make him a dictator for life at the big CCP meeting that takes place once every 5 years in October. The other is violently opposed to Xi and the personality cult that surrounds him. A source in the Asian secret society close to Xi claimed the rumors were false and that Xi was fine. Sources close to Yang did not respond to the messages. Russia. Now let's look at the situation in Russia, where President Putin ordered the first military mobilization of civilians since World War II. Russian sources say the mobilization was triggered because a well-armed and well-trained military group led by NATO officers attacked their forces in Ukraine. The Russians say an additional 300,000 troops have been mobilized, while several Western sources put the number closer to 1 million. Russia also organized plebiscites to make the Ukrainian territories it controls legally part of Russia. This would turn an attack against them into a casus belli or grounds for war. In Spain, there are more than 3,000 volunteer reservists. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced that he will recruit 300,000. But what this means in Russia and Spain is totally different. Until the end of 2001, the concept of reservist was similar in Spain and Russia, but it was then that military service ceased to be compulsory in our country, after which soldiers were automatically placed in the reserve, state in which they remained for several years, during which they could be mobilized. Being a voluntary reservist means being able to be activated to form part of the contingents that are periodically sent to operations abroad of those missions that are underway at the time of the commitment. I am an honorary reservist because of my age. Deployment. In response to the Russian move, Polish intelligence confirms that large numbers of UK and US troops have been deployed to Poland. MI6 sources say, in quotes, "We would never comment on our troops or their location, but the Russian-Ukrainian conflagration is escalating, so there will be a general NATO mobilization in the vicinity." Next, let's look at the situation in Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order designating Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations and instructing the Texas Department of Public Safety to take immediate action to keep Texans safe. How many know that a governor can declare war? Arizona judge overturns 1973 injunction and reinstates abortion ban. Putin denounces predatory behavior by the West on the world food market. He described the position of the world's richest countries as predatory because they continue to buy more food than they need. A pressure drop is reported on both branches of the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. The causes are being studied, but do not appear to be natural. Turkey is considering buying Russia Sukhoi 35 fighters if the US F-16 purchase fails. Gonzalo Lira believes that the US has declared war on Europe. Economy. Central banks must choose inflation or recession. The World Trade Organization warns that the world is on the brink of recession. How bad is the future going to get? Corn harvests across Europe, the lowest since 1990. Electricity rationing crippling the European Union and runaway inflation in the rest of the world. This collapse will be managed to bring in new systems. Sterling hit a record low against the dollar. The Bank of England is likely to raise interest rates by between 0.75% and 1%, analysts say, the highest in decades. The Japanese yen via the Bank of Japan is a monumental struggle to avoid total collapse, which also puts enormous pressure on the Chinese yuan to maintain its exchange rate. Emerging market currencies are in a spiral that can only be resolved by a collapse in the strength of the dollar. October is shaping up to be a critical month for the global fiat system. Solar storm. Unexpected geomagnetic storm. This was not in the forecast. A coronal mass ejection brushed to Earth's magnetic field on 26 September, triggering a G2 geomagnetic storm. Bright, flashy colors danced across the sky for more than an hour. Bright auroras were observed at several locations in Iceland, Norway and Canada. They even dipped with green pillars over Minnesota and Wisconsin. We are not sure where the storm came from. It is probably one of the two outflows that left the sun on 23rd September. Neither was supposed to hit the Earth and, in fact, this impact was not a direct hit. The off-target storm passed close by dragging dense solar wind plasma into the Earth's magnetic field. The sudden charge triggered the geomagnetic storm. Message from Helios by Galaxy Girl. Have you felt the shift? Have you felt my light lately? Have you felt the shift that is occurring within your own inner sun? Within Gaia's inner sun? I do. I'm a populated sphere, like your Gaia. There are men living within me, many of the higher dimensional energies that wish to feel my warmth and add their light to mine. They are doing the same here in your planetary realm. You are adding your light, your joy, your wisdom, and your insight. The plasma waves are building within me, for I am transforming and expanding. Creation is not stagnant. Life continues to explore and expand. Light is always moving, constantly exploring new realms and filling them with light. The light from me reaches into eternity. Light never stops traveling. The expansions and true grandeur of the universe nothing but the mind of Source can comprehend. You are within the mind of Source. We are but the expression within the mind of Source, which is love. Light is love. I am love, you are love. You are beings of love. You have been sent on a mission into the darkness of miscreation to help those trapped to remember the one, the light. Many of you are asking your guides and angels what your role is. What is your mission? What are you going to do in this time of edification until the great shift? See the interconnectedness between you and me, for we are expression of this universal light and love. We are conduits. I am a massive conduit of change as you are. Much has been said lately about how my plasma light and my rainbow source growths are becoming more visible and palpable. The great solar flare is in the minds of many. I see your inner sun and your own ability to intercept, process and ground these codes emanating from me. But yes, the great solar flare is coming and it will be sacred. I see you as the antechamber of this moment, for all moments are sacred. This moment in which you share your source of light is sacred. It is all a massive exchange of light and it will be beautiful. Science. Scientists warn us that artificial intelligence would be nearly impossible to control. Scientists at the Max Planck Society, a landmark European research institution, say humankind will never be able to control a super intelligent artificial intelligence that could save or destroy humankind. According to research published last week in the Scientific Journal of Artificial Intelligence Research, there is no way to contain such an algorithm with technology far more advanced than what we can build today. Renowned Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb says there is a second extraterrestrial probe near Portugal. Harvard University professor Avi Loeb, along with his student Amir Siraj, has confirmed the discovery of another interstellar object that crashed into Earth. The object in question is known as IM2 and is believed to have been 1 meter object that collided with our planet from a trajectory that was not bound to the sun's gravity. IM2 is believed to have crashed near Portugal, I suppose in the sea, in the ocean. Scientists propose a crazy plan to refreeze the North and South Poles by spraying sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. A new study says planes could spray microscopic aerosol particles into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight and cool the polar ice caps to prevent them from melting. It would take about 175,000 flights a year, releasing millions of tons of carbon dioxide. Renowned physicist says black holes are gateways to parallel universes, and we live in one of them. Renowned Polish theoretical physicist Nikodem Poplavsky believes that black holes and parallel universes could be connected, literally. Nikodem says that every black hole contains a whole new universe. In fact, our entire universe could exist inside a black hole, which in turn would be part of another universe. This theory is crazy. Agitation. Re-evaluation by Judith Cashel. Much will be stirred up by the immense changes that are occurring in the upward movements of acceleration, which will need our attention so that we finally master the collective lessons and see what went wrong on the old Earth. We will have to reinvent the new, without repeating the mistakes of the past. As our own consciousness rises, we can communicate with all these kingdoms, whereas before we could not, mainly because we had sunk lower than the animals, and forgotten how to listen to their messages and communicate with them, except for those who lived close to the Earth and who still retain these abilities. The humankind of the new Earth is completely attuned and open, and more than this, is completely heart-centered in a state of love, innate contentment, joy, and therefore always present and open to see and feel the oneness that exists between everyone and everything. The truth is that there was never any separation, no divisions, except what was artificially made and created by the humankind. If you look at the animal kingdom, you will find that all have their role and place within the larger scale of things. The same with trees and plants, and echoed with minerals and all the kingdoms. All the wheels of life are perfect and nothing is missing. It is when the humankind begins to interfere with these wheels of life that things begin to go awry and destruction occurs. For then one begins to go against the divine laws of creation instead of flowing with and within them. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.